Boys is getting quiet. Go on and get crunk. Head back to Longview, Kelly popping trunk. I ain't even tripping. Riding and I'm sipping. Let me come through, 4-4, steady tipping. On that new lap. Watch the trunk crack. Let me sit sideways, CB running back. Maybe AP, maybe AD. I ain't even tripping cause we some athletes. Messing with Schmidty in the summertime. He get pissed if we don't make our time. But we gon' get it, cause we gotta finish. Nebraska horn hustlers, man, we diminished. Put them boys little, paint like a skittle. I ain't even tripping, I ain't never double dribble. Cause I'm a player from the Himalaya. Let me sit sideways, man. Maybe back door, maybe fall off. Sipping codeine cause I gotta kill a cough. Let me sit sideways in the big Benz. Oh, you boys, they my brothers, they my friends.
All right. Welcome into Fullback U. This is going to be an amazing pod. We got my brother T. Ross in. Tristen Ross, how you feeling, brother?
Man, I'm good, baby. What's going on with you?
Man, a little bit of too much. We've been catching up off camera, but man, me and Ross, for the fans that don't know, just to get to the point, there's a brotherhood at OU. Whether you are a fucking NFL MVP, whether you don't finish to me, whether when you sign there, you commit there, you play there. You produce there. You my brother. Ross. I can't wait for everybody to hear your story, man. But just tell everybody, just give everybody a little bit of the background, man. Let everybody know how you came up, where you from, all that.
Oh man, well yeah, man. Like you said, man, it's a brotherhood first and foremost, man. Like I love each and every one of y'all boys, man. So about myself, like from Shreveport, Louisiana, the mighty Evangel Christian,
yes, sir.
Out of Shreveport, many D1 athletes. My story, man, is one of many that I know people have heard or seen, whatever, man. Those guys, those shoulda, woulda, coulda guys.
Starting high school, man. You wasn't one of them in high school. You stop all that.
Well, no, man, not in high school, man.
Go through recruiting. Go through recruiting for me. Yeah,
recruiting was crazy, man. I hate to say it, but I think a lot of that was a part of my problem, man. The recruiting process was crazy, man. Like I said, Evangel was one of those schools that constantly had coaches in the spring, in the summertime. Coach Stoops always used to tell me, like, he was, I'm the only coach that came and watched you in the spring. And that's true. Like, he was the only head coach that came and watched me in the spring. So, I went through that whole process. I think my top three came down to Texas, Tennessee, and OU. I had a real close homeboy of mine that was at Tennessee. So that was why, they were high on my list. But at the end of the day, man, I had too many ties to the state of Oklahoma. It was kind of inevitable, man. Like, it was just one of those things that was bound to happen. You know what I mean? So
yeah. Why not LSU? Why not Texas?
Man, LSU actually, I think I kind of pissed him off early in the recruiting process. I had a guy call me from Rivals. They got the Rivals, I think it's Tiger Rag or something like that. He called me early in the recruiting process, and he was like, well, how you feel about LSU? And I'm like, man, I'm trying to get out of the state of Louisiana. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you from there, you grow up there, you just want something different. So I think that kind of might have taken me off their radar a little bit because they didn't actually offer me until January. Coach Saban and Jimbo Fisher came to my high school, and we sat and we talked for about 30, 45 minutes. And, they was trying to bring me in on a big weekend. It was, I remember some of these names, Chad Jackson that went to Florida and playing with the Patriots, Marcus Russell, Shake Caldwell. They was trying to bring us all in on that same weekend. And I had the visit set up, and I remember my step-pops, he was like, do you really want to go to LSU? And I was like, well, no, not really. He was like, man, you need to go on and cancel that visit. You solid with OU, just go on and cancel that. So I had to call Jimbo, man. I'll never forget. I had to call him and tell him, like, Coach, I got to cancel the visit. And he was like, are you sure? Yeah, I'm pretty solid with OU. And I stuck with, I actually decommitted, and then committed to OU again. So it was a crazy process, man, but it was fun, man.
Yeah. Evangel had, was it Brock Berlin, and also was Ross in Evangel got too? Was Ross?
Brock Berlin. It was Brock Berlin. He actually just got inducted to the Louisiana, high school football Hall of Fame a couple weeks ago. It was Brock. And then right after Brock, it was Shooter, we used to call him, Brent Ross.
Gotta give me some high school. Give me some, before we get into that, what was Shooter like in high school? I know he was surgical.
Man, he was like, man, he used to, that's why his name is Shooter. Like his name is Shooter for a reason. He played baseball. He was humming 90, 95 mile per hour fastballs in high school. So, you know what I mean, man? It's like you running the hits, he cocking back, he giving it everything he got. So, you know, his name was rightfully earned. I mean, I think that team, man, was kind of an underachieving team. That might have been one of the worst teams that Emmanuel had, but we still ended up going to like the semifinals that year, man. But it was just a lot of ups and downs. It was his first year quarterback, so, you know, he had some ups and downs, but he handled it as best he could.
Yeah. So you mentioned Oklahoma ties. What eventually, I'm sure Bob got you up on a visit. What was that like, and what made you choose OU? What was signing day like? All that.
Oh man, really, I kind of think what sold me was like when I came in on my visit, they brought me in on the private plane. I thought that was pretty dope. I thought that was fly. And I mean, I really connected with Coach Wyatt, Darryl Wyatt. He was my position coach. I really connected with him throughout the whole recruiting process. And it just felt comfortable. I had an aunt that lived in Norman at the time. And it's like, man, this just makes sense. Like, if I need some clothes washed or if I want to go catch a meal, like, all I got to do is shoot across town. Like, you know, it really wasn't no big deal. So it felt like home. Like, and then, like I said, Bob, I came to, I think it was one of those camps, like going into my sophomore year. They actually offered me going into my sophomore. And that was one of those points that Bob always used to drive home. We offered you as a sophomore. I was the only coach that came to your spring game or whatever. And it's like, you got a point. Like, I got to rock.
Yeah,
I got to respect it.
Yeah, that's real. Man, just talk about just the class when you came in, what it was like, you know, your freshman year and all that.
Man, we had a great class. I always like to talk to the guys in our class that say we was probably one of Bob's best but worst class. I mean, because, you know, I think we might have been, you can help me remember, we was like number 3. I think maybe like when it was all said and done, we might have been like the best class he had. And I'm sure the ones that watch this might argue, like, it is what it is. On paper, we was the best class. But, you know, we had some characters, man. And I think, you know, a lot of times, you know, guys get caught up in that whole I'm in college and I'm doing my thing, and, you know, you just kind of go to the wayside. I think we had too much fun because, you know, they redshirted our whole class. I think Lewis and Ben Carl. Yeah, Lewis and Carl was the only ones that didn't get redshirted. So it's like, you know, man, you gave guys too much time that they didn't need, you know, so we kind of took a little bit too much advantage of that.
Yeah. Let me know what that receiver room was like, man. I mean, you know, there's a lot of people while I do this pod, and we're going to hit on this, Ross, but, you know, I tell people Tristen Ross, Tashard Choice, you know, there's guys when you go to an Oklahoma offense, there's just not enough reps for it.
Right.
There's just not. And then when you look in front of them, there's a guy named Adrian Peterson. There's a guy named Mark Clayton. What was that like for you?
Man, I mean, it was amazing for a young guy like myself coming in. I mean, I had kind of built up a relationship with MC, you know, before I even hit campus. So, you know, I remember when we played Alabama, that 2002 game, and he had a hell of a game. And I remember hitting him up like, man, you went off, and he hit me back. And I just thought that was like dope. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, this dude just went off against Alabama, but he took the time to hit this young guy back, say thank you. I, you know, appreciate it or whatever. So, you know, coming in, I had already had a relationship with the legend, the OG of the room. But then you come in, you got Will Peoples, you got Brandon Jones, you got Travis Wilson, Warren Rankins, you got all these guys that you've heard about or that you read about. Now you're in the same room with them, and y'all start to bond. And it's like, man, we just had a good. It was a hell of a room, man. I think we had, I would say, probably one of the best receiving cores at that time. But, you know, I think we was definitely still young, you know, but I think that was a hell of a achievement.
Oh, absolutely. Well, you talk about some of your friendships, man, wherever you went, it wasn't too far to see Big Steve. So you have to let me know how y'all linked up. Zodot was another one that was around so much. I think is he still with the Packers?
Man, he's actually with the Jets now, man. He's with the Jets. Yeah. We all know how that's going.
Sure.
But, I mean, man, it's crazy. Like, you know, you say I played offense, and all of the guys that I kicked it with played defense. Zoe, Big Steve, Big Mo, Lawrence Dampier, D. Will, Dan Will. I mean, I'm kicking it with nothing defense. I never forget. I tell Zoe the story all the time. I'm standing outside of the cab, and you know that little tree that used to be right outside of the cab. I'm standing outside the cab, man, and this dude comes up and like he just introducing himself, but he giving his whole name. How you doing? Lonzo Dotson. Lonzo Dotson, defensive end. He come up to me, how you doing? Lonzo Dotson. I'm like, bro, what's up, man? I'm T. Ross, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's just right then, man. Me and Zoe just clicked. And I mean, Steve, honestly, I think Mo brought Big Steve to me. Because, you know, me and Mo, we clicked up pretty tight. And D-Will, we actually arrived on the same day. I remember him taking his stuff out of Cadillac. So, you know, man, like you said, it's just a brother, man. It's just something that you build with people, good, bad, or whatever, man. You still just had that bond or whatever.
So you got to let me know. I mean, we're putting the fans in perspective, giving the perspective, but you're one play away. You grinding it out with Schmidty. I don't want to put words in your mouth, but I'm sure class is just tough as hell. I mean, what's going through Ross? What's going on next with Ross? I mean, you know, because like you said, I mean, dude, I before we even get into it, what people need to know is back then, Schmidty played no games, bro. Absolutely no games. I mean, the shit was so difficult every day. I mean, every day, if somebody quit, you would have been like, man, shit, I can't even blame you. I can't even blame you. So yeah, so, you know, it's like, damn, it is what it is. But just, go ahead, tell me how you feel.
I think, man, my biggest thing, man, was, you know, because I got caught up. Now, remember, this is 2004, 2005. We're just not getting into this social media age. So I'm getting caught up in reading message boards. It wasn't no, you know, like it is now, no Twitter or nothing. It was message boards. So I'm reading these message boards and I'm seeing people saying that, like, you know, it was the grades or this, that, and the third. That wasn't what it was. It was just me not taking advantage of a golden opportunity that I had in front of me, man. Like I said, getting there and having all that freedom, not taking class serious, not taking the words that Schmidty is putting in my head, not taking notes serious. You know, man, just not realizing what I got in front of me. And that's one thing that I always try to relate to any young player, my son, anybody that's coming up and trying to do this. Guys on the team now, man, like, take advantage of your opportunities. You don't want to be the shoulda, woulda, coulda guy. Because I remember it took me a long time to come to grips with, like, man, it's over. Like, you know what I'm saying? You know how it is. Like, you do this for so long, and then you got to get to a point to where it's like you just got to tell yourself it's a wrap. And then, however it came to a wrap, you got to come to grips with that, and you got to be accepting of that. And I mean, man, you know, I went through my bouts of, you know, depression and all that, man. But at the end of the day, I think it made me better, and I learned, man, like, you got to take advantage of every opportunity. That was one of those things. I don't have many regrets, man, but that's one that I definitely wish that I always say I wish I could take back and, man, go to war with y'all boys the way I was supposed to, man, because, man, just kick my own self in the ass.
No, you good, because, I mean, what I'm going to say, man, you know, part of the brotherhood is knowing who's real and who's not. And, you know, you grinded it out. We knew you was the dog in waiting, and it just, you know, I go back to just how hard it was to crack that receiving lineup. I mean, we mentioned MC, but shit, J Rank wasn't a bad slot. And I mean, I mean, you looked around, you mentioned the receiver room has 6 receivers that play, you know, 5 that played NFL or, you know, went to the NFL, and, you know, 6 or 7 that the 6th and 7th guy are legit. So it just became a process for a lot of our guys. And I don't know, I want to get your thoughts on the team now, but I mean, man, that's something that we see very much right now, you know, at a position group. If you know, any kind of ready, it seems like you getting thrown out there compared to in our days, it was pretty known that you was probably going to redshirt. Like, you was probably going to chill. You was probably going to have to scout team. You was going to have to do this, and the weights in the morning was going to hit you, and you know, this was going to be the adjustment. So, but I go back to Ross, and you could tell everybody about some of your best moments in practice or spring games and things like that, just memorable times and memorable plays that you made. But I hate that for you, and you're right. It's something that even I dealt with too, where, you know, you go from, for your case, you sitting right behind MC, who's runner up in Bolitnikov, first round draft pick. You like, man, this gonna be me. You know, at a certain point, I'm sitting somewhere in the NFL, sitting somewhere in college, whatever, thinking, you know, this next fullback, that's gonna be me. And when it doesn't happen, that shit's just, and especially I just said OU and NFL. I mean, it's not like we're talking about, Target and Walmart. No offense to them, but I mean, we talking about some of the elites of where we were at. So I mean, there's nothing to be ashamed of, brother, and that's why even fans watching this, and hopefully they hear your message and can see that, Ross, you're not alone in this sense, and it's not something that we saw guys that it wasn't their athletic ability. I mean, you mentioned it. It was something else that happens that, and you can elaborate on your situation. I don't want to speak for you, but like I said, man, I mean, I think of Mike Hawkins, another guy, just shit happens. It didn't work out.
Right. Yeah, man. I mean, at the time, I think my biggest thing was just being young and immature, man, and not really knowing what I expect. You never know what you know now back then. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you can always look back and put things into perspective. But, back then I thought I knew everything. So it was like, you can't tell me nothing. Like, you know what I'm saying? I don't give a damn who you are. You can't tell me shit. I'm wrong. Like, right? That's the attitude we had back then. Or at least I did. So, not only that, now I got a child coming. You know what I'm saying? I just hit college, and I'm not knowing how to process that. So, it was just a whole lot of things, man. But like you said, we did have good times. Of course, we used to cut up on the practice field, in the film room, man. We always used to try to get at Coach Darryl Wild a little bit. You know how that used to go.
Darryl, little Darryl, right?
Look, I ain't gonna put it out there like that, but since you did it, little Darryl, we were going and we would mess with him, man. But I mean, man, some of the best times was just with the guys, man. Spring games. I mean, that was really only my time I got to kind of do my thing, man. I had 2 good solid springs, and I was feeling good about it, man. And I was looking forward to, trying to progress. I was actually in the position to be. This was right after MC left, so it was just Travis and they was the only 2 upperclassmen, receivers or whatever. So they looking for that third. But not only that, we got Malcolm coming, we got Wick coming, and we got Manny coming. So it's like, okay, who's gonna step up? Who's gonna be that guy? And I went through what I went through the summer, man, just dealing with, like I said, man, the depression. Really, that's what it was. Just not knowing how to handle being a young father, man, and thinking that I need to do X, Y, Z. But really, it's like, man, just be still. Just be still and talk to people, man. Like, communicate and let them know what's going on, and they can help you do this. Do that. So, I never point the finger, man. I'm my own reason why things went the way they went. Nobody is to blame but Tristen Ross. Like, so that's one thing I just want to put out there. I've never placed the blame on anybody other than myself, because I was ultimately the one that was in control of it.
No, that's what's up. No, it's totally respectable, man. And I wish you would have came to us a little bit more, man. Like I said, it's just shit happens, when, like you said, we all thought we had the answers. Hell, there was some certain things where and a lot of those situations, man, you know how it is, Ross, is we all played with fire at some point. You know what I mean? we all, Bob ain't watching, but we all play with fire at some point. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, I mean, it's just, and hell, you was from, Louisiana, so you guys would be down there when we was at the Sugar Bowl. So, I mean, it wasn't, we all play with fire. That's all I need to say.
Man, hey, many a nights rolling the dice and throwing things out on the crap table that don't need to be thrown out there. But hey, that's neither here nor there.
That's real. I know. Give me a funny Schmidt story. Funny Schmitty, or a funny story with the guys. I know y'all got something from the crib.
Funny Schmitty story, man. I remember it was when it was freshman 2 days when I first got there. Ooh. And man, this is a new world, JD. I don't know nothing about this, man. Like, just it's fast. I'm out here hurting. I pulled my hamstring. This is a cold schmidty / Coach Ed story. I know you remember Coach Ed.
Absolutely.
So I don't know. I think I pulled my hamstring playing basketball with Rank them at the Baby Rucker. So I pull it again at practice. They put me on the sideline. I go and I talk to Schmidty. He's like, "What's wrong?" I was like, "Coach, my hamstring." Oh, well, shit, you don't want to practice. I don't even know why you came here. You want to play basketball. You need to go play for the basketball team.
Damn.
Go there, Coach Ed. Well, you see me, Coach Ed. At this time, our CI was something was wrong with Clint, man, and he puts me with CI to do med balls. Like, you remember when you was hurt, that's all they got you doing is med balls.
Oh, man.
I'm a freshman. I'm 18. Clint was like 21, 22, grown East Texas country boy, grown man. He throwing this med ball so hard, dog. It's hot. It's like 100 degrees out there, man. This was the first time I ever experienced a body cramp. When we finished the set, I go to get up. Everything from my waist down just locks up. And I immediately just kind of like fall over. And I'm looking at Coach Ed. I'm like, he's just looking at me with his arms folded like, what the hell is wrong with you? Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, I need help. Like, help me. And that's when I realized, like, bro, you in college now. This is real deal right here. Ain't nobody finna give you no handouts to help you up. Get your ass up and get back to it.
Real. So real.
Real, man.
So real. Talk about, you mentioned some of the guys, Lonzo Dotson with the Jets. Talk about some of the other guys that you was cool with. Let everybody know what they're up to now.
Oh, man, Zoe is my guy, Hunter Graham, man. That's my guy. Shoot,
Big
man,
Steve just got married, didn't he?
Big Steve been married about 5 years now.
Oh, damn, man.
He's deep in the game.
Man, time flies.
About 3-4 years, something between 3 to 5 years. He's deep in the game, man. D. Will is married, man.
D. Will in Houston? Where he at?
D. Will is everybody, man. Pretty much we all out here in DFW, man. Zoe actually just moved out here. D. Will out here. Steve out here. Mo is the only one that's in Illinois. Al D. Corey. You know, man, plenty of relationships built, man. That's one thing I don't regret is all the relationships out there. And, you know, looking at it now, it because, you know, my son is just super Mr. OU fan. It's like all those relationships that I built with those guys, they look at him on social media now and interact with him. And, you know, he got relationships with cats on the team now.
Oh, like, yeah.
Oh, no, it's doing him all the time about it. Hey, man, tell you, boy, man, step it up, man. Come on, man, tell you, boy, to get it together. I ain't gonna put no names. I said,
yeah, I love Lil Ross. Me and Lil Ross is tight, man. You know, it's just like me and Big Ross. So, you know, he's a heck of a DB wide out. You know, they gave us that work last year. I'm super proud of him. So yeah, he definitely gonna love this. So, but tell me what you think about it. And the other thing, he just played for Sooner Josh Norman at Southmore.
Yeah,
so,
right. Yeah, he's a Southmore, man. Jay Norman's out there. I think he said DeMontre is out there. Hurst.
Yeah.
Coaching DBs. So, you know, man, he's surrounded by it. He can't get away from it, even if he tried.
Yeah. Couldn't. Yeah. So, okay. So I got to know, your son, so this is advice for my son too. I told him I'm going to call him in here, but what do you tell him now that he's getting recruited? Does he need to go to OU camp? Do you tell him, it's all about 40 time or go for defense? What you tell him?
Man, the number one thing I tell him, believe it or not, is, man, are you passionate about it? Are you committed about it? Because all that don't matter. Mm-hmm. Because, I just take my own story. It's like, if you're not committed to it and you're not ready to put the work in, then don't even waste your time or anybody else's time. He says he is. So it's like, okay, now the next step is we need to get our footwork right. We need to get like all the little things right that you want to do to help you with whatever position, because they actually got him at DN and outside linebacker and tight end.
Wherever.
So that's what I told him. Like, you're going to grow into that. But, as far as recruiting or trying to, feel like he needs to go to OU, it's like, man, wherever they're going to give you some free money, go. But at the end of the day, of course, you want to see him in that crimson and cream, but, man, it's no pressure, man. It's whatever he want to do, as long as he happy, man. That's my main concern.
That's what's up. Man, I know it probably kills you to hear, not playing right out and getting a few passes a game. But, hey, man, tight end's not bad. But, if they got to put him at fullback, he could be a great athlete there, too. You know how it is.
I told him the position is changing, man. If they end up putting you at tight end, like, don't feel bad about that. I mean, look at Travis Kelce. Look at these, you know what I'm saying? Like, Njoku, all these cats out here that's big, but they athletic. Like, and, you're not going to have to block that much with the way these offenses are these days. You might have to chip block a little bit, but you ain't just going to have to crash down on a DN every, 3-4 series like you used
to. Yeah. No, that's real. What do you think about the current team?
Oh, man. Where do I start, JD? We're young, man. We're young. I think Spencer, man, I like quick release, man. Quick release. Sometimes he tends to hold the ball a little too long for my liking as a receiver. But, again, that's just him being young. I definitely want to see Rambo step up more, man. Definitely impressed with Mims. Defensively, we need to just wrap up, man. Like I saw a couple plays against TCU, two in particular. Like we just not wrapping up. We just out there just like bumping into folks. Like, I think it's a and from hearing the broadcast, they were saying that, we young, we got a lot of youth in waiting, whatever. So it's like, man, I think we just gonna take our lumps this year, and I think next year, man, we'll be better than this year. But we just gotta fight the good fight for the rest of this year.
Yeah, man. Some of the guys have brought it up, and maybe you could harp on it, but what with our teams, a lot of people say, man, you saw a team come out the tunnel that was just wild, ready to go, on fire, that whole deal. How did we get that way? Was Bob Schmidty just super crazy to get us that way? And do you still see that?
No, no, and I'm gonna tell you why we had that fire back then, man. It was those guys, it was those leaders, man. It was the Books, it was the D Straits, it was the Perks, it was you, it was JB on offense. Like, you know what I'm saying, man? Like you had them dogs, man. That's just the best way I can describe it. And everybody, you can probably echo these sentiments. Like everybody say the same thing. It's like it ain't no dogs out there. It's like, where are the dogs in? Like, where do we need to go to the pound to find the dogs? It's like, I don't understand. Like, we just gotta have cats out there that just got that fire, man, and got that up with them, like, especially on defense, man. Now, offensively, I think we're gonna be all right for a while. But defensively, I think we need to step up some things. Now, let me ask you this: do you think it's scheme, or do you think it's just what do you think?
I'm gonna have to answer in rhetoric for you because you're a Louisiana guy. And it just, to me, it seems like the top defenders are coming out of about 3 to 5 states.
Right.
Georgia, Florida, Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana, maybe South Carolina, some other places, maybe a few others. I mean, for me, Ross, and you can tell me what the high school football is like in Louisiana, but I tell everybody that LSU and Alabama were the biggest teams that we faced when we were at OU. I think we need a roster full of kids like that. I mean, Marcus Spears was a different size DN than we saw pretty much all year. You know, and that's probably normal. You probably saw him in high school.
I remember telling Kelvin, because Kelvin, before that game, I said, hey, Kelvin, he a different dude, man. Like, this dude won Mr. Louisiana in basketball and football. Like, he for real. I'm talking about Marcus Spears. I'm like, man, this dude, like, he for real, man. Next thing I know, Marcus Spears done caught an interception and ran up the sideline on our end. Because he played tight end in high school, man. So it's like, man, dude was an athlete. But that's what it boils down to. You just got to get rosters full of guys like that. And sometimes you got to go down south and you got to flip some of them rocks over. You got to find some of them cats, man. Like, I think, I know LSU, it's hard to compete with them. It's hard to compete with the Alabamas, the Georgias. It's hard for us to compete with schools like that. But then when you see the way that we play defense versus LSU or Alabama, you know what I mean? It's like kids might want to come play for a blue blood like OU, but it's like, I don't really like that scheme. It might be something that turns them off or whatever. So that's what I'm saying. I don't know, like, do you change your scheme to fit the guys that you want to recruit, or do you just stick it out and get what you can get? Or I don't know. I don't know.
Football, Ross. I mean, unfortunately, and just like we've seen, it's not going to matter when you match up against people like that. If you don't have the guys to start in the trenches that can make up for that size disadvantage, and that's where I think we were different, was even if we were a little bit outsized, we could still make it up with toughness and physicality and still move people when we got to the goal line and get to those tough yardage. And we haven't been able to do that when we got into these big games lately. And I mean, that's where I go to the Louisiana high school football, the Alabama high school football, the Georgia high school football is obviously a different caliber than what we're seeing around here. And the other deal, Ross, is, when we was in college and we would go back to games, we would see a couple kids here and there that were OU good. And around Oklahoma, I say it all the time, but I think the spreads hurt us and the football's down. And so you're not seeing kids in the positions that the trench positions, and you're seeing everybody throw their best athletes at quarterback, and you're seeing everybody throwing, deep balls to their receivers, which forces their defense to have less linemen. It forces their defense to be in coverage more. And so you're not seeing the tackling. And I mean, to me, a lot of the same issues that I see with OU are some of the same issues that I see day in and day out, junior high and high school around here. It's unfortunate. Right. It's unfortunate. But do you go back? Have you been to Louisiana lately? Do you go to any DFW games? What do you see there?
Man, I hadn't been to any games in Louisiana, man. I actually hadn't even caught any games. I've been slacking, man, gonna catch the games right here in DFW. But you watch clips on the news or whatever. But man, man, like you said, yeah, it's different because the game is changing. Like I was telling my son, as far as with tight end position, like you said, like you got offenses that are spread it out, so I don't have to run for it. I'm not running a 4-3. Like you know what I mean? I'm running something different, and you're not gonna see those tackles that you might see or that you might have saw back in the day when he was coming up. So I don't know if I don't know if it hurts the game or if it hurts the recruiting or what, but I mean, that's just it's just one of those, it's just evolution, man. You keep living, things keep changing. So, I was pretty sure that the game was going to change one day. I just didn't know how. Here we are.
No, that's real. Man, let's end it with, this is going to be a great deal for the fans, man. Just end it with, I know you got a lot of advice for athletes, but if there's anybody out there, striving to make it to college or that does make it to college that, quite frankly, runs into some bumps in the road. Let's be real, Ross. We all had our ups and downs, dog. We all went through every day. We'd be happy at nighttime, mad as hell when we woke up in the morning. You know what I mean? Man. It would just be terrible. Man. Let me know.
If I could say anything, man, to any of the young players out there watching, man, just all you got to do is stay focused, communicate. Like, if you don't know how to sort whatever it is you got going on in your mind, man, reach out to somebody that you know that got your back, whether it be a parent, whether it be a homeboy, homegirl, girlfriend, or whether it be a professional, man. Don't ever be scared to seek help. I had to do it. People do it. That's what it is. Like, those are the things that help you get over the hump. And once you get over that hump, if you're an athlete, now you can focus on the things that you need to focus on and getting your mind right as well as your body. Like, just that's the number one thing, man. Just stay focused, communicate, and just keep working, keep pushing. And don't ever get discouraged, man. Don't ever let nobody tell you can't do this, X, Y, Z. Hell, we put a man on the moon, so they say, or whatever. I don't know.
Right.
Man, anything can happen.
Right.
Yeah, that's on the plot, man. But anything can happen, man, as long as you believe in yourself and you stay focused and you just do the right things. I need to go back and get in the time machine and give the old T-Ross this talk.
Man, I wish we could too, man, because like I said, dude, and, hopefully the fans understand that when you sign to OU, you're special. When you make it a day at OU, you're special, bro. Like, not everybody
does that.
Not everybody makes it a year. Not everybody letters. Not everybody plays in spring games, Ross. Brother, you got nothing to be ashamed of. I hate that we didn't have the finish with us, but, because it's a group effort, dog. There was my guys. You saw it. There was guys that picked me up on my pass. I mean, I don't make it through without my brothers, man. And it's just as much our fault, that we didn't pick you up and see those signs. But hell,
that's me. That's all on me.
I'm with you. My vision was blurry by my son's around here, but. All I can say is the ladies, plural, weren't worth it. I would have picked my brother up at any time. So,
Man,
so
they had our mind going back then. Thought we was the bee's knees, as they say.
Man, too much. Yeah, it didn't work out. But anyway, man, next time you're in town, brother, let me know. We'll definitely have to hit up lunch, and I'm gonna definitely make my way down to DFW or something, man. We'll have to all link up and see if Big Steve can promote. Here's the other thing. Is what a lot of people don't understand about the Malcolm Kelly freestyles. It was pushed forward by Big Steve Coleman and T. Ross.
Hey.
T. Ross, go ahead.
Hey.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna just say this. Now, the Malcolm freestyle is, of course, legendary, but I'm gonna give my man Big Steve, Mr. 6'5".
There were many of them before. Many of them before.
Man, that was the freestyle king, man. Like, when we first got there, that was the freestyle king. But Steve is a shy guy, so you gotta force it out of him. But shout out to my man Big Steve and my boy Malcolm, man, for that legendary.
Big Steve pushed it, and see, there wasn't cameras and shit back then, so people didn't know that. It's like it's like fortune telling. They just don't know.
Crazy. Look, he calling me right now.
Yeah, answer it. Tell him what's up. Tell him what's up.
I'm gonna put him on. Hold on.
Put him on.
Oh, he just hung up, man. I'm going to call him.
Yeah, call him back. Tell him what's up, man. I'm going to post this and tell him, hey, we just going to all do a pod next time. That's what we're going to do.
Oh, man, for sure, man. The boys will love it.
Yes, sir. Much love, Ross, man. You take care of yourself, brother, and the Sooner fans going to love this, dog.
Oh, yeah, man. 100, man. Appreciate the opportunity.
Sure. Yes, sir. Full back you.
All right.